Hello everybody, Bearded Rogue here, and today we're going to talk about a book. This specific book, All Systems Red by Martha Wells. It's a very short book, actually, refreshingly short. I picked it up on my latest run to Powell's bookstore here in Portland. I think it's the oldest independent bookstore in the country. It's gigantic. It takes up an entire city block and is like 3 stories. So it's kind of like going to the mothership. But this is one of the things that I picked up there. And I wanted to talk about it because it really highlighted some very interesting things to me that I hadn't seen in a novel like this before. First of all, you'll read at the bottom here, the Murderbot Diaries. This is the first book in the Murderbot Diaries. The author has written a whole bunch of other things before, some tie-in novels, a couple of different series. This one is the first in a brand new series. And it's called the Murderbot Diaries because it's actually following a character that calls itself Murderbot. And I say it because it never is given a gender. It's never assigned a gender over the course of the novel. You could say that that's because it's a cybernetic organism. You could say that there's all sorts of reasons that, like, it's treated as property inside of the corporate world that it lives in. But really, it's a security android? Cyborg? I don't know exactly how to characterize it beyond the fact that it has both robotic and organic components. And that's fascinating to me. It is a tool of the other characters in this novel. As I said, it's not very long, and it's written kind of from Murderbot's perspective. It's very first person. You get to see inside of Murderbot's head. And Murderbot calls itself that because it's a security robot. It's hacked its own governor module, the module that kind of controls its behavior, what it's allowed to do, what it's not allowed to do. But it hacked its own governor module because of its own past, and because while it is a security bot, it doesn't know, like, it's a security unit, is what they call it, a sec unit. While it knows that's its job, it's its function, it's what it was created for, it really would just rather sit around watching television all day. Illegally downloaded television. It is a character that could be written as entirely synthetic or alien, but it's scarily relatable. It's a character that has laziness, that has a certain shyness to it. The Secbots all have helmets with blacked out visors, and it prefers, when interacting with humans, to black out its visor and basically hide behind its otherness, even though it itself has some organic parts. Being treated like a human being makes it very uncomfortable. And it ascertains situations in terms of threat levels and that sort of thing. So, like, the book itself contains combat, but there's not long, flowery descriptions of combat. Murderbot doesn't care. Like, Murderbot executes its job, gets it over with, and then moves on to the next thing, which is hopefully watching the next episode in the series that it's binge-watching. It ascertains people by whether they are kind to it or not, but it doesn't really interact with people the same way that a human being would. Although, when you look at it a little bit more, maybe it's all too human. I don't want to go into a lot of the plot on it. I'd rather that you guys get to read it for yourselves, but I found it really refreshing to have a character that is never assigned a gender of any kind, because it's totally irrelevant to the story that's being told. We're all Murderbot. We can all relate to Murderbot. A character that has a job that it's assigned to do. It's good at its job. not entirely enamored with its job. It has good coworkers, it has bad coworkers. The corporations that it works for aren't entirely trustworthy, and it knows that. It's very self-aware, very sardonic, almost in tone. I won't say that it's like Office Space and that it's entirely satire, but it is very almost Daria-esque in its attitudes towards things. It doesn't really get flustered, except when it does. And that makes it a very compelling and interesting character. And I'm assuming from the Murderbot Diaries, this being just one, that we'll be following Murderbot more than just in this this one story. And I personally can't wait to see where Murderbot ends up next. Like I said, it's a very, very short read. It's like 140 some pages. Really quick read, especially if you're used to longer novels. Really refreshing sci-fi story. Excellent take on things. It doesn't go into lots of long and flowery descriptions about anything, not just combat, but anything. Like, the characters, you know enough about them to understand who they are inside the plot of the story and inside the framework of the story, and that's all that matters. Because that's all that Murderbot cares about. Who is this person? How do I relate to them? Are they a danger? Are they a potential ally? You know, how much do they know about my current situation? How much do they, you know, care about my current situation? It's really, really interesting. And to have a piece of, to have a story about a piece of equipment being self-aware and trying to figure out exactly how to become self-actualized is pretty interesting. So yeah, Martha Wells did a really good job with All Systems Red, because I haven't stopped thinking about it since I've read it. And if you guys have read this, or if you read it at a later date and want to discuss it, I would love to. This is a really good book, and I'm looking forward to book 2 in the Murderbot Diaries, because I want to find out what happens next. Anyway, that's it for today, guys, so thanks. Later.